Question. Miss Vicky, you had it.
I can.
Okay. Now, what was, first of all, tell us your career.
I'm a school principal. I've worked, oh, you can't hear me? Okay. I'm a school principal. I've worked for Cleveland Schools since 1995 when I came out of college. I've been a teacher. I started as a substitute teacher, which actually made me want to go into being a principal because you go all around to the different schools and you see some schools that have a lot and you see some schools that don't have anything. And it didn't matter if it was east side or west side or, you know, the population was mostly black or mostly white. It just were a lot of disparities. And what I found was the principal made the school what it was. So I was like, okay, well, I'll go into teaching. And my mom is a teacher and has been all my life. So that's how I ended up doing that.
Okay, now, if one of the girls wanted to become a principal, like what kind of disposition would you say they would, need to acquire? Would they have to, sometimes, certain careers, like you need to be outgoing, you need to be
You definitely
patient.
need to be outgoing. You definitely need to be patient. You definitely need to be a strong person because just when I think I've seen everything, I find myself surprised. Right. And you also have to understand that there are all different types of people in this world, and it takes all different types to get along. And as long as you can respect people for their differences, you'll be fine. And and sometimes I have to say to children and parents, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree.
Amen.
Amen. And they respect that. But you definitely have to be a people person. Or you won't make it.
Amen. So now the second question is, when you were a child, what did you dream of being when you grew up and why?
I wanted to be a lawyer. And I think it came from my mother and father. I was saying, you need to be a lawyer. You always like to argue. You're never wrong. And so that I wanted to be a lawyer. But then growing up, and my mom, she teaches in East Cleveland, and she's at Kirk. Well, it used to be Kirk, now it's Heritage. But I used to always go to the middle school when we had breaks, and they didn't. And just being around that, and so it just naturally happened.
Okay. The third question, now this we're getting into some good stuff. Now this question we asked all the girls this for their essay. We gave out the papers, the applications. I asked them what did beauty mean to them. So now I asked the guests too, what does beauty mean to you? What's the definition of beauty to you?
And I think of all the questions you asked, to me that's the hardest question because most people, I would think, would say beauty and then think pretty or looks or things on the surface. And as you can see just from everybody in this room, we're all beautiful and we all look very different. And it really is, I think it's, I guess, your outlook. That they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that's because it comes from inside and how you look at different things. And you try to find the positive or the beautiful things in each situation, each person, each thing. But I think that's the hardest question. And the one thing I wanted to say is everybody, I think, knows who Beyonce is. And I think we all think she's pretty. But one thing I've noticed reading article after article about her, seeing her on TV, people talk about what a good person she is. And I think that's what makes her so likable to parents and adults as well as kids because of the type of person she is, not just her look.
So y'all get that? Y'all agree? Okay. Our next question is, and we all think about this as we go to the beauty shop or anything. If you could create a beauty product or invent something related to beauty, what would it be and why?
It would be a spray, a cream, or something that just always made your hair look good. I mean, we all have
just magic in the hand.
Magic in the hand. You spray it, or you shake it, or you wash it in, or something. But your hair always looks good. And it's one of those things of like I always say, if your teeth hurt or your feet hurt, you feel bad. But like your hair, if your hair is
just
together,
forget it. If your hair is up, just forget it.
Exactly. And so, I mean, it's so many days. I have 2 little ones, and it's so many days. I'm like, oh, I gotta get up and wrap my hair. And I mean, and that's just to at least make it look decent, but it's something that just would instantly make your hair look good.
So as a principal, you can you go to school with the you know, the bad day ponytail? Can you do that?
You know what? If I knew how to do it, like I love how like nobody has one, but like how people pull it back and then you could buy the ponytails that you and it looks real neat.
Right.
I would love it. I don't know how. I don't know how. And so normally it's just straight flat. You know, I had some rollers today. But by Tuesday, it'll just be straight flat. So.
Now, for the girls that go to Hannah Gibbons, do any of y'all know how to help Miss Norton do that ponytail? Like, if she can call you in early in the morning, can y'all help me with my ponytail?
I'm trying. I'll go.
See, you can do that ponytail.
Because it's a matter. It's not the way it's about pinning it or something.
Right.
Ask me to help her do my sister.
Okay, well see, in an emergency situation, you find Miss Sydney. Okay, next question is,
What's it?
Go ahead.
No, because the drawstring, and I love the way they look. I don't know. And I guess if I took the time to do it, it's probably not that hard.
What makes me mad about the drawstring, just when it look good to you, when you pull it too hard, that the comb part still flipping.
That's one of my parents, so she not so I'm calling her.
Okay, guys. So the next question is, why is attitude so important? How can a positive or a negative attitude hinder or help somebody in life?
Let me say this. I think everybody has a bad day, and I try to. You go to different restaurants, you go to different types of businesses. My dad had a stroke in August, so having to deal with like the rehabilitation center and things like that, and you encounter people and just a smile, you know, a kind word that just even. If the service was horrible, their disposition, you take a different feel away. But I do try to say, you know, I don't know what they experienced. Maybe their parent had a stroke this morning or whatever the case may be. So I think you always have to remain positive, but you always also have to look at each situation, the big picture. You don't know what someone is going through until you walk the mile in their shoes. But I think you get back what you give out, and so if you give off negativity, you're going to get that back. If you give off positivity, you're going to get that back. So, and you just have to. The other thing is being, you know, consistent. I try to tell the girls good morning. I try to greet them by name. I try to, like I didn't even see Kalia sitting right here when I came in. But you know, I try to make sure. That a lot of it too is respect, you know. So, but I think a positive attitude will carry you much further than a negative attitude. I just look at my household and my sisters and I and our dispositions and what we are doing now. I have I've run into people from high school and your sister's still mean, and that was in high school, And so I think. You give out what you get back, and I think you will live a happier life being more positive.
Now, if you seen somebody from high school that remember you, what would they say about you? What kind of personality would they say you have?
Always smiling, outgoing, silly.
Y'all believe Miss Norton silly? You know, because when you look at your principal, you like. She's silly. I'm gonna try to joke with her on Monday.
Silly. Just like to have fun, but a nerd maybe. You know, if I'm being honest, maybe. Probably the whole gamut. Actually, two of the kids at Hannah Gibbons, their father and I went to high school together.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
So it makes you say, okay, let me see what does he know about me?
reputation and then if it was something bad, it's like, look, you know, that was years ago. We was kids then.
But it was so funny.